Good morning. This is Erwin St. Rose reporting for WKEJ News in Chicago. In the business world, four ways the business world will change in 2020. Quantum innovation. Google's approach is a prime example of quantum innovation, which is defined as out-of-the-box thinking that is disruptive to competitors and even the company itself. The paradigm shift underlying moonshot innovation seldom fits the current business model and organizational structure. New organizational forms. The traditional 9 to 5, Monday through Friday work environment of old is giving way to many new organizational forms. We now see virtual companies, internal and external network partnerships, think Uber and Airbnb, and companies that spin off new startups. Reverse innovation. Globalization and outsourcing have led to reverse innovation. The world is no longer a one-way outsourcing street moved from west to east. While the West still exports many high-end products and services to developing nations, and still sources cheap labor, innovations in emerging markets are now flowing back to the West as well. This is happening with Brazil, China, and India across such diverse fields as biofuels, IT, and medicine. Now, new approaches to making cheap artificial hips in India, for example, are finding their way back to the US and Europe. Harvesting mistakes. Many breakthroughs came out of a sequence of mistakes or failures. Clearly, not all mistakes are bad. Many are portals of discovery. Adopting a more tolerant mindset about mistakes opens the way for testing new processes and projects, even ones that may not look promising initially. Many successful innovations do not become so until they are nourished at an early stage, and endure many setbacks, failures, and adjustments. As Honda's founder noted, success is 99% failure. Rather than wait for brilliant mistakes to occur by happenstance, cutting-edge companies may actually encourage deliberate mistakes, defined as testing beyond your belief system, just to see. In sports news, Edwin Jackson is officially a free agent, as the Cubs released the veteran right-hander after designating him for assignment last week. That means Chicago is on the hook for the remaining $50 million or so on Jackson's 4-year, $32 million contract, and he's now able to sign with any team for whatever he can get. Jackson was terrible as a starter for the Cubs in 2013 and 2014, combining to go 14-33 with a 5.58 ERA. He was reasonably effective as a reliever this season with a 3.19 ERA and a 23-12 K/BB ratio in 31 innings. At age 31, expecting to latch on somewhere as a fifth starter or middle reliever. In local news, it's the biggest day in a young pilot's life. The first solo flight. Flight check, takeoff, landing, all on their own, usually after months of training. Malcolm Dunn is doing it today after 6 weeks of study. He's only 19 years old. Dunn is one of 8 Chicago students in the inaugural class of the Tuskegee Next Academy, a new program out of the Illinois Aviation Academy in DuPage County, founded to give urban African American students a positive outlet. The program is rigorous. It comprises of flight training, ground training, oral exams, and hours of study. By 2025, Tuskegee Next aims to turn out 100 successful pilots. Everything from materials to mentors, time, tuition, room, and board are made possible through donations. In world news, if ever there was a case of setting oneself up for almighty fall, an article of staggering pomposity by Lord Sewell of Gilcomston, head of standards in Britain's House of Lords, the upper chamber of Britain's Parliament, was surely it. In his piece, the British peer expounded at great length on the personal honor of the members of the Lords and said that all British peers taking a seat in the House of Lords obeyed the 7 principles of life. These are selflessness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty, and leadership. He allowed naturally that there were a few bad apples in the Lords who damaged their reputation. However, he insisted the number of members who break the House's rules is small. Most work hard and provide a valuable service in inviting the government to think again about big issues, scrutinizing legislation, and informing public policy debates. And then publish pictures and footage appeared of the head of standards apparently getting naked and snorting cocaine off the breast of a woman identified by the paper as a prostitute. Lord Sewell, who is now earning £84,525 per annum as chairman of the Lords Privileges and Conduct Committee, he has resigned from his position and now faces a police inquiry, paid the call girl by check. In national news, The Boy Scouts of America is expected today to officially end its long-standing ban on gay scout leaders, but the new policy won't prevent church-led scout groups from choosing adult leaders whose beliefs are consistent with their own, the group said. The Boy Scouts 17-member executive committee earlier this month unanimously approved a resolution that would end a blanket ban on gay adult leaders and let individual scout units have their own policy on the long divisive issue. The change will become official policy if it's ratified by the organization's 80-member board, which is expected to vote today. During the Boy Scouts annual meeting last May, former U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates, the organization's national president, said events of the past year have confronted us with urgent challenges I did not foresee, which we cannot ignore. He said those include growing challenges to the policy from Boy Scout councils in New York and Colorado, as well as new state laws and court decisions barring discrimination based on sexual orientation. This has been Erwin St. Rose reporting for WKEJ News in Chicago. Have a great day. Until next time, Chicago.